Hello everyone. How are you doing? Hello Nirja. Hello Gitanshu. Yes, I was just I am using a new software for live streaming, so I'm just getting used to it. I'm not really sure how does it work. So yeah, I'm still figuring out. So let me know if you are able to hear me properly, if you are able to see my video. So let me know in the comments, and also let me know from where you are joining from. Hello Karthik. We have few people joined already. Hello, Siddharth, Mani. Okay, I guess that's how we add to the screen. So that's good. Okay. Hello, Karthik. Hello, Siddharth. Have Mani. Uh, hello, Pavan. Okay, Pavan. I mean, yes, definitely. I have some plans to work with the advanced Kubernetes concepts and along with a managed cloud service such as AKS, EKS, or GKE. Most probably it's gonna be GKE, but I'll be doing that in some time. So, hello Devraj, how are you doing? Gitanshu, can you recommend some resources for AWS Solution Architect Certificate? Gitanshu, for AWS, go to Udemy and search for Stephen Merck. So that's the best AWS Certified Solution Architect course that is there. I used that personally few years back, and it is still one of the best sellers. And he covered everything from scratch and from the exam perspective. So yeah, have a look at that. Stephen Merck is the name. You can just search AWS on Udemy, and that will be the first link that you will find. I'm pretty sure. Hello, Palay. Hello, John. I hope everyone is doing good. Everyone's having a good weekday. So today is Monday, but in Canada there is Labor Day today, so it's off for me. I thought, why don't we just do a quick live stream and see how's everyone is doing. Hello, Mohammad Fazil. Hello, Vikas. Thank you so much, Mohammad Fazil, for your feedback. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you, Nirja. Thank you for letting me know. Yes, Pale. How do you manage your work and teaching? So, I'm not sure how do I manage. So it's just like I have my priority sets. So this is what I enjoy the most. Creating content or clearing doubts, having live stream or teaching. So this is what I enjoy apart from my 9 to 5 job. So 9 to 5 job doesn't matter wherever you are working, doesn't matter what you do, there'll be still something missing because it's your mundane job. Someone is paying you, that is why you are forced to do that thing. But things such as YouTube or creating technical content, no one is asking me to do, and I don't really get paid much from it. Like most of the money that I get from ads or sponsorship, I hardly get it. So everything goes to my video editor, thumbnail editor, and so on. So I don't really, I sometimes have to pay out of my pocket expense, but I still do it because I love doing it. I enjoy it. And the things that you enjoy, you always get time, you always find time to to work on it. So that's what I do. Thank you. Hello, Vikas, from Bangalore. Okay, thank you. Okay, Chirag is asking what's next after CKA. You tell me. So I'll be, because I have one more video left in the CK series, which I'll be publishing hopefully tomorrow or day after tomorrow. I just have to upload it. It's ready to be uploaded. But after CK, after I'm done with CK series, I'm gonna start a poll on all the social media platform like YouTube, LinkedIn, and like all the platforms that I'm part of. And and from the results that I get out of that poll, I'll work on that. So currently I have few options in my mind. So let me know in the comment if you think this is one of those series that you want me to work on next. First is Terraform, because I've been getting a lot of requests for Terraform these days. So Terraform with GCP, because with AWS and Azure there is already a lot of content. I don't want to create something that is already there. So Terraform with GCP is something that I would be working on. That's one option. Second is Kubernetes advanced concepts, a concept that we have not covered as part of CK, but it is really important. from administrator point of view, or from getting a job as a Kubernetes administration or a DevOps point of view. So that's the second thing, Kubernetes advanced concept. The third is CKAD certification. So there'll be many overlap between CK and CKAD. So many of those things we have already covered as part of CK, and I'll be covering rest. So that's the third one. Fourth one would be what was that? Linux for beginners. That's the fourth one. And fifth one would be, let's say, so we covered GCP, GKE. Fourth one is, fifth one is GKE. So here are the five. So let me know in the comments which one would you like me to work on next, and like whatever request I get for the most of those, I'll work on that. So Terraform with GCP, GKE, Kubernetes advanced concept, Linux for beginners, and CKAD. So those are the five topics that I am thinking, because it's based on, so this is not something that I have come up myself. So this is the request that I've been getting these days. So these are all the requests that I've been receiving. So based on that, this is what I've decided. But let me know in the comments, and let me know once I start the poll. Make sure you vote on that, and then let me know if you want me to work on any of those. Okay, let's see what else we have. Hello Ganesh, hello Pavan, hello Bharat, hello Nilesh. We flip sideways if you are using OBS. I'm not sure if my video is coming on the other side. Actually, I'm not using OBS. I'm using Ecamm Live. This is something that I'm trying for the first time. But let me try to flip my screen. I have mirrored my camera. Okay, let me know if it is better now. Okay, I have just flipped it. Okay, Pale, what about stateful deployments? Yes, so stateful deployments is one of those topics that people have told me that I missed as part of the CK series. No, I did not miss it. Stateful set is part of CKAD. That's why I did not cover it in CKA, right? But it can be covered in Kubernetes advanced concept, or it can be covered in CKAD whenever I work on it. So don't worry about it. But it's not part of CKA. That's for sure. AZ400 suggestion for AZ400, you can check out my series. It's called Azure DevOps Zero to Hero playlist. It has 16 to 17 videos, 16 videos. Yeah, I guess 16 videos. And it has covered everything that is there for Azure DevOps. Plus, there are some topics that is not specific to Azure DevOps. So those you have to learn from either Microsoft Learn website or doing the online research. So those topics are Git branching, Git flow, GitHub Actions. There are a few more. So have a look at the exam guide on Microsoft website, and you will get to know what all topics that are there, because AZ400, it's not just for Azure DevOps, it's for DevOps with Azure DevOps. So it has other components along with it other than Azure DevOps. So you will find that in exam guide, and rest of those topics you can cover from Microsoft Learn website. Okay. Let's see. I got back pain from sitting and doing cloud. I got back pain from sitting and doing CLUD. I guess you're talking cloud or like anything, but like what I would say is take breaks in between. And sometimes I do have this adjustable table, so sometimes I work while standing, sometimes I take a break in between whenever I can. Take care of your health. That's the only thing I would say, because if you are not fit, if you are not healthy, then you won't be able to work with full capacity, and everything else will suffer. So health should be your first priority. Make sure you take care of it, even if it means doing some investment in buying a chair, a good chair that is good for your back posture, with lumbar support and everything. So that's still a worthy investment, I would say. Try to do that. Okay. Hello Pavan. Nilesh, how do I start Google SRE preparation? So Nilesh, I have not given any SRE interview for Google yet, but there is a Google handbook. So search for Google SRE handbook, right? You will find a Google SRE handbook that's been published by Google itself. That should be your first point to start learning from it. And then DSA is also one of those rounds in SRE interviews. So make sure your DSA concepts are good enough. So there are multiple channels for DSA you can go through. So there is Take You Forward by Striver. There are many more. You can look for yourself, and yeah, you can start from anywhere. But what I'm doing is, what I'm planning right now is, I'm planning to bring some more industry professionals that are working on those particular roles. So I'm trying to bring someone that who is working as an SRE in Google, so that they'll be able to provide you you know some good suggestions about the roadmap, preparation, like all those things, all the questions that you have in mind. So stay tuned for it. Yeah, I'll be doing that shortly. Hello Mohit, I hope you're doing well. Bharat is asking up to what extent Linux is needed for DevOps and prefer good channel to learn. Bharat, I'm not really sure about Linux, because Linux I never really learned from any channel or anything. Linux I learned while I was working, because when I started working, there was no, like, YouTube was not one of the resource that we would use for learning anything, right? So I learned Linux on the job. But I would say, like, there are a lot of content available on Free Code Camp. There are many channels you can search for yourself. You can, and make sure you install Linux on your personal computer as your primary operating system, right? If you are using Windows, get rid of it, install Linux and start working on Linux. And that's how you actually build a good knowledge around Linux. Like, to what extent it is needed, there is no end to it. There is no upper limit of what you can learn from Linux. So try to do whatever you can. Okay, but make sure you use it properly day to day. Okay, Vinesh, I've already provided you suggestion for AZ400. You can follow two resources. One is my Azure DevOps Zero to Hero playlist. The other one is Microsoft Learn website for any topics that are not covered in that, because that series is specifically from Azure DevOps point of view. But for rest of the topics, you can check out Microsoft Learn website. Okay. Okay. Hello, Mallikarjun. Please make a series on Python, just like CK. Um, Pramod, I am not really sure if we'll be doing it, because I haven't received much request on Python. The requests that I have received are those 5 topics that I have already told you. So for now, I'll be going with either of those topics. So let me know from which topic you want me to work on next. Can you please suggest roadmap to GCP cloud? Nirja, you can. So there is, if you go to my channel, there's a playlist called Namaste Google Cloud. So that should be your first point to start learning GCP. It has everything from beginning, like what is a cloud, why do we need it, all the basic concepts, and then all the services, all the important services that are covered in ACE certification, plus all the fundamentals, including networking and all. So go through it and let me know if you have any questions. Okay. Will DevOps be replaced in upcoming days? So don't really worry about it too much. So there are two things. Either you can worry about what's coming in the future, because, like, no one knows what's there in the future, right? So you can worry about it, or you can work on upskilling yourself and then decide whether this was the right decision for you or not. So it's easy to worry about something, but it is hard to work on yourself and take care of yourself. So I guess we should not be worried about it. We should work on our skills. We should work on upskill ourselves. We should be prepared for the future. The people who are saying that DevOps will be obsolete in coming few years, like, I'm not sure how they have seen the future, but it doesn't work like that. Okay. Will you be doing Helm series? Pranav, I don't think for Helm we need an entire series. It could be one video, like 1 hour to 2 hour. In those couple of hours, we can cover entire Helm. and Helm will be part of either CKAD or advanced Kubernetes. So whenever I work on those series, I'll create the detailed video about Helm. Don't worry. Okay, so we have one vote about Terraform 0 to hero. So yeah, okay. Let's see what others are suggesting, what others are requesting. Can you create a series on Linux administration and troubleshooting? So if I create the Linux for beginner series, that's what I said earlier. So in that series, yes, I will definitely cover Linux administration and troubleshooting, because that's one of the important topics of Linux wherever you are working. Okay. Okay, Terraform playlist, Pavan Elk stack. For Elk, I already have a video in 10 weeks of CloudOps series. I guess it's video number 5. So have a look at that. Okay, and maybe I'll create something else in future, but it will not be specific to Elk. It will be an end-to-end DevOps project using Elk or EFK stack. So that's what I'll be doing. Okay. K's customization with Argo CD. Yes. So with Argo CD, also 10 weeks of CloudOps video number 4, in which I have created an end-to-end project using Argo CD. So have a look at that. Plus, it will be covered in depth in advanced topics, if like whenever we are working on it. Okay. Arjun Gupta. Hello, Arjun. Rahul is saying Jenkins. Rahul, for Jenkins, I created a series of 7 videos 2 years back. So go to my channel, go to the playlist section, and you will find Jenkins for beginners or Jenkins tutorial for beginners series, right? So it has many things end to end from basic. So you'll find it helpful. Go over there and check it out. Okay. CKAD, please. Okay, so now we've got 1 vote for Terraform, 1 vote for CKAD, and 2 vote for advanced Kubernetes concepts such as customize, Argo CD, and there was something else. Yeah, ELK stack with Argo CD. Yeah, GK bhi chalega. Okay, one more Terraform. Elk Pavan, you've already said that. Okay. Splunk and Dynatrace integration for app. All right. CKAD, Kapil, CKAD, and then Nirja, Terraform with GCP, K8 Advanced, Terraform with GCP, GitOps with customization. Yes, GitOps series, GitOps video is already there. So check out 10 weeks of CloudOps. Video number 4 or 5 will be about GitOps. I guess it's 4. Real-time project. Just I had so many real-time projects in my channel. So there'll be a playlist of DevOps real-time projects. There'll be a playlist for Azure DevOps. In that there are many real-time projects. There'll be 10 weeks of CloudOps playlist. In that also there'll be many real-time projects. So check those out. And yes, I'll be creating more real-time projects in the future. When Linux for beginner is coming? Yes, so as soon as I start my poll, as soon as I get the votes, whichever series gets the maximum vote, I'll be working on those. So it could be Linux for beginners, it could be CKAD, it could be Terraform with GCP, GKE, or all those things that we have discussed. GitOps or GitHub Actions. Okay. Do you think that should start with the fundamentals of DevOps such as Nginx, Linux? You mean, so this question is not clear. I guess you are asking if you should start the fundamental of Linux or I should start the series on that. I'm not really sure, but if you are asking if you should start working on it, so yes, before going deep dive into DevOps, start with the basic fundamentals, how SSL work, how DNS works, how forward proxy, reverse proxy works, load balancer, TCP IP model end to end with all the protocols, how SSH works, and then come to other DevOps concepts, Docker, working on any cloud platform or any CI/CD tool for that matter of fact, right? So go from the beginner level, go from the basic fundamentals level, and then go upward from there. Okay, next, Kubernetes Advanced. If we can finish Kubernetes in a flow. Yes, Pranav, that's really a good point. But even if you move from Kubernetes to GKE, that's also a good option. If you move from CKA to CKAD, that's also a good option. So all the topics are related to Kubernetes, most of them actually. Linux is one of the prerequisite of Kubernetes, that's why I've added it. But most of the topics are related to that. So either way, it will be good. It will be a good learning experience. Okay, Terraform. Money is asking Terraform series would be great. CKD plus K8 advanced topic together. So I cannot merge those topics together, so that, because I want to keep the playlist separate. Someone who's looking for just CKD certification specific playlist should only be able to check on those series that are part of those videos that are part of CKD series, right? And K8 advanced concepts separate. So I'll keep it separate, but I'll see what most of the people are requesting. So I guess we have got a good feedback, and from the looks of it, I'm getting mix reviews. Linux have been requested, I guess, the least number of times. But yeah, let me start the poll in coming couple of days, and then we can decide. Okay. Playlist for Argo CD, yes, it should be covered in advanced Kubernetes concepts with real-time projects. Yes, Arjun, definitely. Okay. Okay, so Rishika has a question. I know my question is irrelevant. No question is irrelevant, Rishika, first of all. So any question is like whatever question you have in mind, that is why we are doing this live session, or that is why there is a comment section so that you can ask your question. I'm no one to decide whether your question is irrelevant or not. So don't worry about it. Just wanted to know if Azure DevOps, all topics from 0 to Hero series enough, or anything else you would suggest to get good position. Yeah, I would say that series it good for a beginner level who never worked on Azure DevOps, or who had just some basic experience or DevOps, right? So from beginner to intermediate, it's good enough. If you are a fresher, then it's good enough. But if you have already a certain number of years of experience, I would say add some additional topic on top of it. I wanted to add, but I didn't get time for it. But if I were to add, I would add GitOps along with Azure DevOps. I would add maybe another cloud except Azure, because that would be a good combination to see how Azure DevOps work with that. I would add a proper Git flow along with, like, for now, like we have just work on, I guess, trunk based deployment, or just one main branch deployment, right? But I would add Git flow as well on top of it. And few other topics, few other tools, Helm chart, customize, all those with Kubernetes part of it. And logic apps, if you're working with Azure, logic apps and to CI/CD. So there are still some topic that you can add on top of it. And I will see in near future, if I get time, I'll definitely create more videos on it, and I'll expand this playlist. Right? But thank you for your question. It was really helpful. Poonam is asking, can you please teach Argo CD along with K8s? Yes, Poonam. So Argo CD is already there in the plan in advanced Kubernetes concept. So definitely I'm going to add it. VS, thank you for the Kubernetes series. Thank you so much for the feedback. Okay, I'm learning K8s by installing Minikube. Should I try installing Kubet? Okay, just give me a second. Okay, what I would suggest is don't start with Minikube. Okay. That is why I have not used Minikube in my Kubernetes series, because Minikube will provide you, first of all, Minikube is heavy on your system if you don't have a good specification. Second is Minikube only provide you a single node cluster, which won't give you much learning experience, right? So what you can do is you can install a cluster on Kind, which is Kubernetes in Docker. It will virtualize your existing VM into multiple nodes. It will create multiple Docker containers, and all those Docker containers will serve as a separate node. So that's one thing you can do. But it also has some limitation. For example, you cannot do Kubernetes upgrade on that at CD backup and restore installation and so on. So for that, you will need to install Kubernetes with the help of kubeadm on virtual machines. So I have covered both the installations in my Kubernetes series. So check it out and let me know if you have any issues, right? How to start with open source in cloud native tech? I never really contributed to open source, so I don't think I'll be the right person to answer this question. But I would say if you are a beginner to open source contribution, don't really go with the big projects all at once. Start with the smallest possible project, or start with the documentation update. And when I say documentation update, don't really open a pull request for a typo. That's really put you in a bad spot. Open the pull request where you see a significant change in the documentation is needed, or something that adds some value to it. Okay, start from there, and then you keep on improving yourself, start contributing to code repository of small projects, and then advance your way from there to the bigger projects. Okay, you're welcome, Nilesh. Learn Linux TV is the best channel for learning Linux and Bash scripting. So here you go, whoever is asking. So Dark Sid, I'm not really sure what your name is, but thank you for providing the suggestion. So Linux TV is what you can refer for any Linux or Bash scripting tutorial. Thank you so much. Please give best project for freshers. So Serene, check out 10 weeks of cloud ops playlist. You will find um, a lot of real-time projects that you can implement. Try implementing this, and if you are facing any issues, so you can join our Discord community, which is free of cost, and people will be there to help you out with any of the issues that you are facing. Okay. I like lot of your content. Thank you for helping us out. Thank you so much, Carlos. It means a lot. I really appreciate your feedback. Thank you. I've installed Linux, but always afraid of data loss because new in it, so not be able to use it as primary. I mean, try to regularly back up your data. If you're worried about data loss, try to use an external hard disk. But if you keep if you keep getting afraid, you won't be able to use it much, right? And when you work somewhere, right, you will have to face a lot of these issues. For example, when okay, I'll tell you this. So there is, when I was working, like it's been 11 years, when I was working with Accenture India. Over there, once I deleted the entire directory in Linux machine. So there was a UAT environment, which was referred as a pre-prod environment, and I had the sudo access, I had the root access, I was logged into as a root user, and I did rm-rf star, and it wiped out the entire directory, it wiped out the entire operating system, boot file, everything, and I ran that in the root directory. So it was a mess. It is something that no one should be doing it, but I got my learnings from it. I got my lessons. Yes, it impacted my performance feedback in the end of the year, but I got some good learning experience out of it. But that doesn't mean that you should be doing it. But run everything with cautious. Run any command, especially any command that is destructive in nature, such as rm command, move command, all those commands. Run those commands with very cautions, and I guess you should be good. So don't be afraid. You'll get through it. Okay, you are giving good content for us. Learn and practice. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Pranav. Appreciate your feedback. Want to be a good want to be a good DevOps engineer, learn basic AWS service, but don't know how to move forward. Should I learn Jenkins or Kubernetes or GitHub Actions, or stuck because I'm confused? Okay. So first of all, don't go in all the direction at once. Okay. Pick one domain, one area, and then move ahead with it. Okay. You said you have learned some basic of AWS services. Okay. Now, okay, Jenkins would be a good way to start. Okay. So you should be learning at least one tool in each of the domains. So domains are CI/CD, infrastructure as a code, configuration management, monitoring, alerting, logging, containers, container orchestration. So these are the different domains or different areas, part of DevOps ecosystem, right? So you should be working on at least one tool in all of these domains. So yes, Jenkins for CI/CD is a good way after you have learned the basic of it. After you have learned the basic of Linux, Git and GitHub, computer fundamentals, all the basics, then yes, Jenkins would be a good way. And then try to learn one more modern tool in CI/CD, like GitHub CI/CD, sorry, GitLab CI/CD, GitHub Actions, or Azure DevOps. Either of these three. And then infrastructure as a code, Terraform for containers, Docker for container orchestration, Kubernetes for monitoring and alerting. You can go with Grafana and Prometheus. For login, you can go EFK stack. Yeah, I guess. And for configuration management, Ansible. So I guess that's what it is, right? Can you please share Kate's troubleshooting in all possibilities? Gandhi Kishore. So if I start doing that right now, it will be years for me to complete that. you know, there is no end to it. I have been working with Google for past 2.5 years, and my main role is to work for GKE and Anthos, which is a managed Kubernetes service. I work on fixing customer issues on a daily basis for past 2.5 years, and still I get to see a new issue every day. So there is no end to these possibilities. But yes, there'll be some basics. So there'll be some basic error. There'll be some basic error patterns, such as error pull image. When does it happen? What are the causes for it? How to fix that? There is crash loop back. There is some networking issues. There is node maintenance, upgrade, and so on. So yes, I'll be covering those topics for sure. Tech Code Pilot, I know web development. So let's do a quick time check. Currently it's 2:30 p.m. for me. I started this 1:30. I have a call in next 15 minutes. Okay, so we'll take few more question, and we'll end up this session in next 10 minutes or so. Okay. So I know web development. Should I go for data science or DevOps? It totally depends on what you aspire. It totally depends on your skill set and your interest area. So if you are like, try to understand what is there in data science. Data science is not just working with fancy tools, and making some fancy calculation and it pays good. It has a lot of background as well. You should be well versed with the mathematics. You should be well versed with statistics, probability, and many other topics, calculus. I'm not even sure how many topics are there, because I never really had interest in that. Plus, like, it's beyond my level of expertise, so I never really think about it, right? So first, try to see what's there in each of those in each of those roles, and then decide like whether you will like it or not. you know don't just go with asking someone. This is the question that you should be doing your own research, and then you'll ask yourself like whether this would be a right thing for me, whether you will enjoy creating CI/CD pipeline, doing troubleshooting, creating automation, writing Terraform scripts, Kubernetes manifest, Kubernetes administration, whether you will like this or not, or whether you will like data science part of it. So decide yourself. Okay, CKAD, one more for Linux, advanced Kubernetes, observability. Okay, hello Mayur. Guys, please don't call me sir. You can call me by my name. My name is Piyush, and I'm sure you will know that. So please call me by my name. Okay. I want to start DevOps. From where I will start. Okay, start with the fundamentals. Start with Linux. Start with computer networks. Start with TCP IP, networking, all the fundamentals. Start from there, and then think about going into DevOps. And DevOps is not just a tool, or this is not about something that you can do it next 21 days or 31 days, even if you do it regularly. It will take some time. It will take some time to get a good level of understanding on many of these tools. So make sure you are patient and you have some patience. Make sure you have that dedication in you. But till the time you are able to figure out whether you want to do it or not, it's good to start with the fundamentals. Okay. CKAD. Did you start your career as a programmer or a sysadmin? Vinesh, I started my career as a production support engineer. So sort of sysadmin, but not actually sysadmin. And that's what I did for 3 years. And then I moved into DevOps. Then I moved when I moved to Canada. I was unemployed because I moved here after quitting my job back in India. So after coming back over here, I got my first job as a production support, and then I moved back again in DevOps, then as cloud engineer, and now I'm working again as in cloud roles. Right. So I have worked with multiple roles, but programmer was never one of those. Which workshop for AWS should I do as a fresher? Start with, okay, I'm saying this fifth or sixth time, start with 10 weeks of cloud ops. And the first video in that series would give you some good confidence boost. The second video will test you about your knowledge on infra networking in the cloud. The third video will test you cloud plus Terraform for infrastructure as a code. For fourth video, it will be about GitOps. It will be about creating an infrastructure with Terraform, creating your Kubernetes cluster with Terraform, and implementing GitOps with Argo CD, Circle CI, and so on. Fifth video will be about setting up monitoring, alerting, logging in a real-time projects. So start from there. These 5 projects is what you need to get started with. Okay, LinkedIn profile improvisation. Maybe we'll create a dedicated session for LinkedIn profile, and it's not something that I can provide you as a one-liner answer. So we'll do it sometime later. Okay. Hello, Faisal. I'm doing well. How are you? Thank you for joining. Grandi, advanced K8s for sure. Need K8s with Azure front door. I'm not sure I'll be doing K8s with Azure because for Azure I have created a lot of videos already, and there are a lot of good material now available for Azure. I'll be going K8s with GKE, I believe, if I'll be starting the GKE series. Okay, Pramod Mahadik, Terraform. Okay. Taif Bakshi, your Kubernetes series is the best one I have seen on YouTube. Thank you and respect. Thank you so much, Taif. Because of the support that I'm getting for the Kubernetes series and for the Azure DevOps series, that is why I'm able to produce more quality content like this. And that is what keeps me going. That is what keeps me motivated. So thank you so much. I'm a full stack developer. I want to learn DevOps. Can you please little explain what the actual use into real life? Okay. So Faisal, DevOps, what it is actually, DevOps started as a culture. It started as an ecosystem. A DevOps engineer is someone who bridges the gap between developer team and the operation team. So what happens usually, right, when you're working in an organization, there is a team of developer, right? They develop their code, they do unit testing, they test it, and then they deploy in the dev environment or local host if it is a very beginner level company or like a startup or so, right? But for an enterprise level company, let's say you have a dedicated development environment where developers will be deploying the code and doing all the testing in that. Then it will move from one environment to another. There'll be multiple environments. I have worked in an organization where they had 25, 30, 50 environments for a single application, and there were different tests needs to be performed in those environments, right? So developers don't do those things. Developers' work is done when they have checked in their code in the GitHub repository, the code has been merged, and their job is done. And then they'll be working on the next feature or bug fixes or improving their existing code base and so on. But who will actually deploy that code in multiple environments? And those environments are there, that who will actually provision those environments? Who will actually maintain those environments? Right? Who will make sure that your environment is scalable? Let's say there is a big billion sale on Amazon, and Amazon.com server is not able to handle the load. Who will make sure that your servers are ready for the upcoming event? So all those tasks are part of what DevOps does. So when your developer done writing your code, after that it all comes to DevOps to make sure to work with developers and operations to automate those processes, to automate infrastructure provisioning, to do the administration, to troubleshoot any issues that is there in the environment or multiple environments, and to make sure that your production system or your live application is up and healthy all the time. So this is what DevOps is, and to achieve this, we use multiple tools, we use multiple processes, we use multiple methodologies, and that's how we implement it. Okay, I am sure I'm able to answer your question. I'm having trouble installing kubeadm on my local machine. What you can do is you can provision because even if you install a kubeadm on your virtual machine, on your local machine, you'll still have single node, right? So you can look for, there are different virtualization softwares that are available. We have what do you call it, VirtualBox. Then we have multipass. So try to look either of those, which will create multiple VMs on your single VM, and then you will be able to do that. Plus we have a Discord server, so you can find the link on our community website, the cloudopscommunity.org, or you can find the link in any of the videos that I publish, and you can join our Discord server and share your issues, whatever you are facing. Okay. Poonam is asking, I have 2 years of experience in DevOps, only work in Kubernetes, like deploying GitLab runner through Helm. How can I prepare myself for K8's interview question? The first thing that I would say, Poonam, is do not really focus on preparing the interview questions. Focus on preparing the topics that is there for Kubernetes. Like, think about the use cases of Kubernetes that we have, what a Kubernetes administrator would do. Okay, so they are responsible for upgrading the cluster, they are responsible for etcd backup and restore, and they are responsible for node maintenance, they are responsible for troubleshooting issues related to Kubernetes workload, worker nodes, or control plane components, and so on. They are also responsible for automating end-to-end CI/CD, right, into Kubernetes using GitOps tools such as Argo CD or Flux CD. They are also responsible for implementing a release management process using Helm and other tools. So think about the use cases that is around Kubernetes, and then prepare or implement at least one project in each of those areas, and then you will be comfortable to answer those interview questions, right? Okay, thank you for your information. What is the next step if I want to become DevOps engineer from Azure? DevOps engineer, is learning AWS needed? What is the base for? No, actually, so there is not. So these are not the different terms. There is no Azure DevOps engineer or AWS DevOps engineer, right? There is DevOps engineer. That's what you need to focus on. So you need to learn the fundamentals. You need to implement the hands-on projects on all the areas of DevOps, CI/CD, infrastructure as a code, observability, and so all, like whatever we have discussed. And it doesn't matter if you do it in AWS or Azure. So if you have done it in Azure, make sure you stick to it. Make sure you get a good level of expertise in that by implementing the use cases that you have not done so far, and you go from there, right? And I guess learning multi-cloud would be good if you are a working professional, if you already working as a DevOps engineer, or if you are already in the industry for quite some time, that it will be a good addition. But as a beginner, if you are someone who's trying to get a DevOps role, right, so do not go in multiple directions. It will just confuse you, it will just overwhelm you. Okay, so that's the suggestion that I have. Okay, so 4 more minutes and then we'll close this call. Can we use Docker Swarm in on-premises Windows Server and run a production application? You can use it, but it has a lot of limitations, right? So the reason why Kubernetes became popular, because there was no end-to-end solution for a complete container orchestration system. Docker Swarm has a lot of limitations, right? So you can still run it, but not many companies are using it. And if companies are not using it, that means there are not much requirement in the market, right? So you will not see much of openings. Like if you look at the job description, you will not see much of the openings for Docker Swarm. You will always see Kubernetes or a managed Kubernetes service, right? So it's good for learning if you are just starting out. It's good to learn Docker Swarm, but that's all about it. How to find vouchers for AWS certification and CK exam. As of today, AWS is providing 50% off on certain certification voucher, and it will be there on their exam website, so you can check it out. For CK, they usually comes 30 to 40% off, and there'll be an upcoming Black Friday sale, I guess in November, October or November. In that, they will have pretty decent discount. And all these discount vouchers are available on the website. For CK, it will be on Linux Academy website. So who officiate this CK related or Kubernetes related certification, it will be over there. Currently studying your Azure DevOps 0 series, really helpful. Thank you for all the content. Thank you so much, Shubhra. Thank you for your feedback. Okay, Jed is asking, please step-by-step roadmap for a cloud engineer, especially in GCP, before jumping into DevOps role. Okay, so this is something I'll create a separate video. I was already working on some video for that, and I guess we are out of time now. So, and this question will take some time to answer, but I will create a separate video for that, and feel free to check it out. I'm sure it will be helpful. Okay. How can we apply DevOps jobs abroad? Is it only from LinkedIn, or is there any website? I'm not really sure because I never really done that myself. And like if you have a good online presence, if you are sharing a good work, if you are contributing to open source, if you have created some exceptionally well projects, then people reach out to you by their own. You don't even have to apply for these jobs. But again, so that's the only thing. Sometimes I do get requests because I don't do consulting. I have a full-time job, plus I manage other things, so I don't really do any consulting. But I do get requests on LinkedIn, for any consulting work, any paid consulting work or something like that. If I get it in the future, I'll definitely try to post that in our Discord community. But as of the moment, that is all I have to say. How to become an error fixer or problem solver without anyone's help? It's not really bad to ask for a help. If you see it that way, many a times we do need help. If we try to fix the issue by ourselves, we'll still be going through a different websites. We'll still be doing some Googling. We'll still be going through Chat GPT to get our answer, or asking in some forums. So there is no shame in asking for help, especially when you are new to something. Okay, so it's okay to ask for help. If people are helping you, that's really good. And as you advance in that particular tool or technology or the domain that you are working with, what you can do is you can spend some time, you can implement the project by yourself, or you can do the issue reproduction on your local system. So let's say if I get an issue, okay, if I'm facing some issue on XYZ environment, if it is actually an issue, then it will be reproducible on other environment as well. So I'll try to reproduce that issue on other environment and try to see the pattern what is there. And you keep asking yourself questions. So there is a troubleshooting techniques, it called 5 whys. So you keep asking yourself the question, why is it happening? Okay, maybe because you did this. Why did you did this? Maybe because this was one of the steps as part of the installation. Why there was this step in the installation? So you keep asking yourself these questions until you get your answers, right? So there are different troubleshooting techniques that you apply, but mostly it's about getting that hands-on real-time experience. And this is what you get when you keep working on something over a period of time. Okay, I guess that's it. I wish I could take more questions, but as I said, I have a call. It's not related to office, but I have a personal call to attend. So I'll be closing this session now. And it was fun as always talking to everyone. So thank you so much for joining, and thank you so much for asking the question, for your support so far. And I hope you are liking CKA series and you are getting good benefits out of it. So yeah, stay tuned for more updates about the upcoming series, and I'm sure it will be helpful. So thank you so much, and I wish you have a good day, good night from wherever you are joining. We'll see you soon. Okay, bye bye.